Good evening, chat. Why does it put me up in the corner like that? I don't get it, but hey, whatever. It's almost the weekend. That's what I guess happens. So, anyways, chat, welcome to the show. Welcome to the show. You may have noticed some things going on here, but yes, are we live? I don't know. Are you live? I don't know. Chrome made me reload my browsers and stuff, so I had to go take care of that. So, whoops. Anyways, welcome to the show, everybody. Welcome to the show. My name is Sean, also known as Potentially Criminal, and I am an attorney in the Cleveland, Ohio area. And today we've got some updates on Mickey Stines. He is the sheriff out of Lecker County, Kentucky, who pulled something like straight out of a Justified script and shot the presiding judge, Kevin Mullins, dead in his chambers. 100% that happened. And if you guys don't remember about that, we actually have now seen some extended footage of things that were going on beforehand leading right up to it. The part though of Sheriff Stines putting in work, is not available in this showing, but it is out there. And if you guys haven't seen it before, Sheriff Stines, while the judge is standing there, or while the judge is sitting there, he just starts unloading into him. And it's pretty straightforward, man. He goes to work. He goes to work. I mean, it's like there's no. We also do have something that's dropped now, and I think it's actually pretty cool. The body cam. The body cam of him actually getting arrested is actually out there right now. Some of you might say, wait, what about the body cam for Nick Cata? Well, we're working on that. We're working on that. But we do have this body cam. Isn't it kind of funny and weird how we can have access to this one? But I don't know. I don't know. Life is weird that way. Life is weird that way. Life was weird that way. Yes, apparently now Trump and Elon are having a WWE style feud. I'm not with Musk on this because Musk is just as much part of the problem as Trump is. I mean, he is not without stain on this. He is just as much a heel as Trump is a heel. So I mean, they're both in the New World Order. Jeff Hall could have not written a script better than this. So we will get to that. We will get to that. We'll probably cover that tonight because that is kind of the disintegration of everything. But it is time to, before we get started here, Unhung Hero for 5 subs, chat. That's right. We're starting off Thursday night strong and steady. 5 subs. He's doing his part. Are you doing your part to help punish this gray menace and to make America green again? That's all we're trying to do here, chat, is make America green again. Unhung Hero, thank you for your support and your generosity. Also, if you happen to get a Switch, guys, happy Switch 2 Day. I think this is the release date, so congratulations on that. Congratulations on that. Blue Varro's been a member for 4 months. Thank you, Blue. I appreciate it, man. Thank you for the support. Thank you for the longevity. Uncivil Law, Kurt. Kurt, great friend of the show. Kurt's been doing great stuff over on the Karen Reed trial, as I like to think I have too. But Kurt has had some great interviews lately. He interviewed Turtle Boy, interviewed Vinny Politan from Court TV. Probably next week he's going to have Clarence Thomas on at the rate he's going. Guys, give Kurt a look. There's going to be we'll go over tonight. There are some Supreme Court happenings that happened today and happened earlier in the week. We're going to get to, but Kurt is definitely involved in the Supreme Court coverage. Take a look out there. But Kurt, this is the one spot where you are wrong as heck. Gray is not better than green. No. Green is supreme. Green is supreme. Kurt should interview Proctor. Oh my God, that would be hilarious. Kurt, there you go. Start making it happen. That would be good. Yes, the Supreme Court woke up and chose violence today. Yes, it does look like it. It does look like it. So, all right, guys, let's get started. If you guys don't remember, Mickey Stines is, well, Sean Mickey Stines. I still don't understand where the Mickey part comes in. He was the sheriff of Lecker County, Kentucky. And if you guys have never figured out, well, Lecker County, it's Lecker, not Lecter, is down in the south of Tennessee, like down in the holler. If you guys have never seen it before, it's down there, chat. Just to show you how things are. This is right here, chat. This is the state of Kentucky. And this is Kentucky right here. We're all the way down here on the Virginia state line. We're down in the middle of nowhere. We're down in coal country. And if you notice what's just down the road, the next county over, Harlan County, Kentucky. We're justified is situated. Where the sun goes up at 10 in the morning and the sun goes down at 3 that same day. Yes, the county seat of Lecker County is Whitesburg. I'm not making that up. Just so you're aware. Chat, that's where we're at. By France is not too far from me, yeah. So here we go. This is this is down in the holler. But if you guys wanted to see what's going on here, this is a great example of the surveillance footage of what happened here. There is surveillance footage of what went on, and hold on, where did it just go, Chad? I just had it. I clicked out the wrong tab here. Dang it. All right, hold on. I gotta get my history open. What happened here? Oh, right, Chad. I don't know why that didn't show up like that. So here is the footage itself of the shooting, and the shooting is something else. So this is the chambers of Judge Mullins. And some of you might say, wow, is this what it is? Some courthouses, this is your chambers as you're a judge. Some of you might think judges have this nice, phenomenal setup. Some places do. Not every place does. I've seen judges' chambers that are kind of like this before. It's not uncommon. Not everywhere looks like it's out of Law and Order. So there are a bunch of people hanging out as things go on. There's a big meeting with some other people and different, or who knows what it's about. Judge may be holding a meeting for something. It is interesting, though. He's smoking in the courthouse. Like, I get it. You're the judge. You can kind of do whatever you want. But I'm betting it's against the law to smoke in the courthouse. But once again, you're the judge. You get to do whatever you want. So as they're sitting there, they're talking, and he gets up and he's walking around. This is Sheriff Stines right here. He's like, what's he doing? Is he checking for the coast to be clear? And this is a bit of the extended footage here. So, he gets up and walks out of view. This is the interesting part. He keeps on like checking the door, which is so weird. Then this is where it gets interesting. He cuts to a point where he is sitting in his chair and they're talking. And then after a while, Stines get up and he grabs, he gets up, he's playing with the phone, and something happened on these phones. We still don't know. We've had these theories that there was some sort of sexting or something weird happened. We didn't get to see this part yet. But something's going on. Something's going on. Why hand the phone over? I don't know, Chad. I don't know why you'd hand the phone over. But he saw the list. He saw his number was listed under Daddy, maybe. But yes, he sees who's been calling and texting. It's not clear, though. Remember, the investigators were like, yeah, none of this happened exactly like why you think. So, yes, Blade Runner, enhance. So as this keeps going here, Stines starts looking through stuff. He's checking through things. He's making a phone call and looking at a phone. Oh, buddy. So something happened. So as he makes that phone call, he tosses the judge's phone back, and he reveals his handgun. Oh no! Oh no, chat! It's going down. And Judge Mullins, I think Judge Mullins even realized something's happened. He's like, "Well, smoke him if you got him." This is my last one. Although this whole stack of cups here at his table is so weird on his desk. I don't really get it. But anyway, here we go. Stines is walking around. If you guys have never seen somebody get shot to death live, or shot to death in front of you, be ready. Please be ready. Yes, shit just got very real. Yes. His hands are up. Don't shoot! But look what he did. He put his hands down, which means you're now allowed to shoot him. Hands up, don't shoot, disappears. Yes, he's really into cup stacking. Yes. He's retiring the replicant. Oh, so here we go, guys. I don't like where this is going. Cat, how are you doing? Yo. Hi, Cat. I don't like where this is going, chat. Uh-oh. Oh, he's gripping that handgun and his fingers are twitching on it. Uh-oh. He just locked the door. You locked the door, that's never a good sign. It's like Kingsman. Manners maketh the man. Judge is like, look, we can be cool. We can be cool, brother. Okay, damn it. This is ridiculous. I forgot this one blurs it out. But he shoots him a couple of times. And then Mickey Stines follows him as the judge dives behind the bench or table and shoots him. Shoots him over the table a couple of times. And actually, hold on, chat. We could switch over to this.
Went down in the Letcher County courthouse that left a Kentucky judge from the trial, shows former Letcher County Sheriff.
So here you go. This will not show you everything, but you see everything but the pistol recoiling. So you don't see the shots, but you see like the aftermath of the shots. So here you go. Oh, buddy. So, did he mag dump him? Well, you're going to see in a second. When do they teleport to Japan? Yes, they got the blurred like Japanese porn. So, yeah. So, here we go. This is the real thing, you guys. Like I said, if you're not prepared for this, this is what violence looks like. Violence is never pretty when it's presented to you. So here you go.
Sean Mickey Stines point his gun directly at District Judge Kevin Mullins.
You don't see the shots, but he definitely puts a couple shots into the backside of the judge. And then he finds him over here on the table.
Mullins is seen on the ground with his hands up and turned away from Stines before the shots were fired. Stines has been charged with murder in the September 19th shooting.
Every time you see a pause, he's shooting this guy to death.
Of Mullins. The next step in the trial is for a grand jury to consider whether to indict.
And that's right, chat. He gave a couple of anchor shots at the end. He gave a couple of anchor shots at the end. Yeah. Young says bro keeps on shooting. Yeah. He gave him a couple for the road. That's how you know whatever it was, he was really upset about it. Yeah, security rounds, also known as anchor shots. Yeah. He ain't getting up. He wanted to make sure he did the job. So that's what happened there. They did catch Sheriff Stines. He surrendered right away. So this is arrest and body cam video. This is from D True Crime. This is where I found it. I don't know if there's better quality versions of it. But this is interesting because we heard him in the police car before where he's all worried about like they were going to bury him in the hills. But yes. Remember, no Yankees. What a waste of a lit cigarette. How long after the incident is this part? I'm assuming this is pretty much right away. At some point here pretty quick, because this guy is the Kentucky State Police investigator. So, yes, the irony is he's one of the few people allowed to carry a gun. Yes. So here we go.
Why are you going to transport me in a vehicle for?
Probably not to put you in Ledger County Jail. I mean,
Why?
just probably because I don't know though. I don't know if that's
I don't
happening.
mind to be down there.
You don't mind to be down there?
They'll put me in a
Well, I mean,
cell.
we'll talk about that. You know, let's talk to see what the.
Yes, if you guys aren't aware, he turned himself over immediately. No, he never got out of the building. That wasn't his plan. He came out of the office and surrendered immediately. Like the way it sounds, he came out with his hands up, put his gun down, and other deputies came and arrested him. So
Logistics is down there.
Why I gotta get put in a vehicle and go outside?
Well, yeah, I understand why you're worried, but at the same time, you know how it is with something like this. We're going to be worried about you in the jail down here with local people. You know?
Right now, I'm alive and well, no weapons on me. So if I leave this building, I won't draw another breath.
We're going to.
now I do believe this whole Jussie Smollett, I am not suicidal thing. Yeah, this is totally like I would believe that. This guy has a major concern that he's going to get killed. And remember, we listened to the dash cam footage of when they were driving him, and he thought they were going to dump him in the hills. So we're gonna have a parade for this dude. I don't know. Oh, he got out of the building. He walked back in. I'm sorry. I thought he didn't make it out. Did he use a SIG P320? No. That'll be a great argument. It's Sig Sauer's fault, Your Honor. So.
Go where?
in one of these rooms and we're going to talk real fast.
Oh, yeah, not in one of these right here.
I don't know. I think they cleared one out. So
I feel safe doing that.
why? I ain't gonna let nothing happen. Okay? I ain't gonna let nothing happen to you. So don't worry about that. I'll stick with you until you go to your cell. Okay? You'll be all right. I promise you.
I know better, man.
What? You know, we just talked about we've known each other forever. I ain't gonna let nobody hurt you. Would you talk right here? If we pulled up some chairs, we'll just talk low. We're just trying to let everybody hear stuff and see everything.
I don't care if everybody hears. I just don't feel safe.
Okay. Well, here you should feel safe. There's cameras here. There's people everywhere. People in there. So if we pull up some chairs right here.
This tells you a lot. That as much as he sounds very based, if he's this worried about what's going on in the courthouse where he controls security for, how sketchy has this dude been as sheriff? And how much sketchy stuff has he seen as a deputy? That makes me a little sketchy. That makes me a little how that's going to work. It seems like paranoia, yeah, but maybe he's not paranoid. Maybe he's paranoid for, reasons and experience. Alpha Fox says he beat the final boss. Roll the credits. Yes, he knows how the bad cops are. Yes, I think that's the thing. He's like, he knows where all the bad cops are and he's scared. JC Adult's right, though. Yes, never talk to the police, chat. What if you are police? Are you allowed to talk to each other on scene? How would that work for, like, if some of you got hired in a police department? You're like, you walk by the chief, he's like, good morning. You're like, sorry, can't talk to you, sir. I don't answer questions. Oh, wow. Yeah, this guy's crazy. Fair Frozen 55 for $10. Good to see you, by the way. It's been a little bit. Hope you're doing well. Says, my SIG decided to shoot on its own, Your Honor. There's proof that it's a sentient being and likes to go off on cops and other federal agents. It's a criminal mastermind. Yes, there are a lot of cops who have been shot with their own SIGs. Yes. Yes, there are. Yes, there are. And Garrett Pace says, Sheriff Stines dotted those I's and crossed them T's. Yes, he did. He made sure he stuck the landing. He stuck the landing. And this is an interesting thing here. Jim Cox says this guy's lawyer blabs all over the place. That's fine because that's not admissible against the sheriff. And he's managing the PR campaign the way he's doing it. So
Here, would you talk to us right here?
And I don't have a problem with transport and stuff.
Well, that's transport is another issue. We'll make sure you're safe on that too. We'll wait till after we get done talking.
I ain't trying to be difficult, guys, but I don't feel safe.
So we got to know what led to this, Mickey. What transpired leading up to this? Because I know it just didn't happen for no reason. Something's happened. Everything has a reason why it happened and why somebody acts the way they do.
Just be fair to me.
We'll be fair to you.
Just don't beat on me.
I ain't gonna beat on you. Nobody else is gonna beat
I don't know.
on you. You know
It
that.
seems like it.
Somebody don't kill me, man.
Nobody's gonna shoot you. Nobody's gonna kill you.
Don't do that. Don't shoot me. Kill me and stuff.
So what? Tell me about what was going on earlier today. What was you doing earlier today? Tell me about your day.
It was fine.
Luke, there is not a motion to suppress yet. We're only at motion to dismiss stage. So did they Mirandize him prior to this? This is absolutely a custodial interrogation. Yes, this is 100% custodial. He is not free to leave, and they're asking about the crime that he's alleged to have committed. So yes. Yes, I'm assuming they Mirandized him. Sarah says, this is our accent. It makes it sound sweet as molasses. Don't let it fool you. And yes, I agree, Mexican Vader. I won't beat on you. And it's like, why don't I believe that? It's like,
Good day. Normal stuff. Office stuff. Why was you over here at the courthouse? Just was you had to come over here, drop off some papers, so you come over here to talk to somebody
Court? I come over here all the time.
for
man.
court?
Yeah.
Okay.
All the time. Just come over. We had lunch together at Street Side.
Who did?
Several people.
Who all had lunch?
holy shit. He looks, did you see that? Look at his face. That looks like a man. Like, look at how insane he is. Look at that. He just looks like he's lost it. Yeah, it looks like he's tripping or something, man. He looks like his cheese slid off his cracker. It does not look good. He's watching one of those interdimensional psychic vampires. Oh.
Let's talk about it. What happened today?
Which jail are we going to?
I think, not positive, Mickey, but I think they're transporting you to the Leslie County Jail. For your safety.
For your safety. And Mickey, you've been around most.
I'll never make it to Leslie County Jail.
Hey, who do you want to? Who do you want
Put me
to?
in Leslie County Jail. I get killed there. I get killed in the jail. So I guess y'all might as well do it.
Who do you want? Who do you want to transport you? Of all the police officers here, who do you want to go with you? There'll be it has to be at least one KSB officer. Even if you ask one of your deputies, who Jason Bates is going to transport you. And I'll go with Jason Bates. You know me and Bates our whole lives.
Yeah, but
You know we ain't going to do anything to you. I'll go with Bates down there with you.
I mean,
Nick, why do you think we're going to do something to you? I don't understand that.
Because he knows you're all corrupt.
Why would we want to
there's
hurt
somebody
you?
on the way.
You guys are fucking probably corrupt as shit.
No.
We're going to stop and let somebody do something to you?
No.
That's actually kind of insulting if we do that.
We would never.
Look, I know this is obviously a very crappy situation, but I assure you that we have no intentions of harming you whatsoever.
We ain't going to do anything to you.
Yeah, I'm not going back in them rooms now.
We ain't. We'll talk right here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Come on, be fair to me now.
We're going to be fair.
I seen the look.
From who?
Jackie, y'all, come on now. Don't kill me.
No, worry about
I mean, this is
Hi, my name is Dee.
Okay, well, we're gonna skip ahead here. I don't need to hear you talk. So,
Department.
I promise that.
don't shoot me.
I know. I don't know you nothing like these guys do, Mickey, but
it's not very reassuring.
unfortunately, they've told me this is my case. But I guarantee you, nobody within the state police has any ill intentions, or nobody's going to lay a finger on you. Why would you?
There he is.
Just tell me fair with me. Mickey, you know Willoughby. You know Willoughby. You know where I've worked with you for how long now? You know how I've worked. You know how I've operated. I've always been fair with anybody. They say he's transported. Yeah. So who's waiting on us at the Leslie County Jail or
Nobody.
Yeah, just be fair to me, man. Give me a trial. You know, give me a trial. You know we're going to be fair to you. You've known us for. Yeah, man. Box lift.
He's not
Just be
here,
fair
man.
to me, man. Give me a trial.
I told him I'll ride with you too to make sure
Yeah,
nothing.
yeah, he can ride with me. You know, he can ride with me if that makes you feel better. I mean, I understand why everybody come in huffy and puffy, but there was several of them. Man,
Well,
It's a danger. I know.
emotions are high.
Everybody comes in all huffy and puffy. You literally did shoot a fucking guy. You literally shot a guy in the fucking face. Repeatedly. They kind of frown on that. Chat, hold on one second. I need to take this real quick. Hold on. I gotta do this. Give me 1 second.
When things happen like that, they don't know if you would still want to be aggressive towards them.
Well, I was already cuffed, man, sitting down, and
Okay.
you know,
I know.
the other guys have patted me down and stuff.
Well, I've not been aggressive with you any. Clayton has not. I know Bates has not. So you're okay. I promise you. Okay, you're okay.
Mickey, it's our job now to protect you. I mean, you're in our custody. We're going to do our best to make sure nothing happens to you, and we sure ain't going to do that to you.
Mickey, you know we will be. You know we will. I got 5 grandkids.
Yeah.
But you know we will be. You know I've not been unfair to anybody I've dealt with.
Not with me.
Yeah. And we've been together a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just, even after I get there and stuff, just.
We're gonna make sure you're all right. Don't worry. We ain't gonna let nothing happen to you. I promise you that. Nothing. I'll go with him, and nobody's gonna intersect with us or anything.
No, I promise you, I'll drive you the whole way. I'll drive you the whole way.
Why do you think
Just
we
think
would do
about all the
something like that?
emotions raging through that man at that precise moment. I'm sure he was.
We'll be down there a little bit, Bates. I just want to talk to you for a second. So,
Be down where?
Sallyport, when we get done talking, we'll go down there. You got gas already, full tank?
I got 3/4.
Which way are we going to the Sally Bar?
Not outside.
I don't want to go back that way.
Yeah.
Now, come on, guys.
What's the best way to go? I don't know. What's the best way to go, Bates?
I think it is probably that way in the elevator.
Yeah, I don't know.
We can all walk with you.
We'll figure that out.
I promise you, Mickey. Listen, I promise you. You've known me and him for what? Since we were 14.
Okay, fire to me.
And I promise you, this right
Right here
here,
to the Leslie County Jail, and they beat the hell out of me and killed me and stuff there, you know.
Nothing like that's
they're
going
not
to
going to do that.
Yeah.
You know, I promise.
And hey, I ain't got nothing on me now. Don't get me back there towards the active crime scene, me end up dead when a million other people see me.
No.
Listen, the elevator's right there.
Don't they go down the Sallyport?
Car or anything.
Yeah. Heck, you
So
know.
who's all going on transport?
Me and him. I'll go with him. I'll be in the front, the passenger, and he'll be the driver.
I'm pretty sure I got 3/4 of a tank of gas.
Yep.
Come on now.
Cameras will be listen.
I promise, Mickey. I promise.
Cameras will be on. Everything will be good.
Yeah, I know how that.
I'll go down there.
Okay, Mickey. So listen. Let's. Do you want to tell us what happened? That's up to you. I'm not trying to force you. It's up to you if you want to tell us what happened. I mean, like I said, something led up to this. It just didn't happen. We would just like to know why it transpired this way. If you don't want to, that's up to you. You don't want to talk about it?
No.
Okay.
You're going to kill me, ain't you?
No. No.
No, Mickey, why in the world would we do that?
Are you sure you don't want to talk about it? Just make it sure. And if not, then we'll try to figure out the transport situation.
What do you mean trying to figure out? You already told me what it was.
Well, how we're going to take you down there and stuff. So
Yeah, y'all are going to kill me. I know you are.
No. Why would you think that, Mickey?
Let's just get it over with. Let's just go.
you don't want to let us know what happened. Okay. Just if you don't care to hang tight, because I took on some of this property, I just need to give that to somebody.
Okay.
I'm probably
Now, come on. Now, you guys are going to
no.
do me and now
No,
took
I
on some of
need
my
to get-
property. All I had was
You had your cell phone, your keys. I need to take that holster and
now come on now.
I need to go give that to somebody else. I need to move my car. My car's in the middle of the street. Actually, I may leave my keys with you.
Okay.
if you could take it to my house and just drop it off.
Come on, sure, guys. Don't.
That property's in my seat if you want to do that.
Okay.
Get one of them to follow you or something.
Okay.
You don't care?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. We'll do that. Let me, and we'll let you take that with other
Kill
people.
me, guys.
Where you going to?
Come on now.
Can you slide your shoes on, Mickey?
No, now come on. Come on, man. Don't.
Well, he was acting like he was okay with leaving, going to Leslie County.
You unfairly at all, okay?
You want one more drink of water before we go, too?
Come on now. Don't do me like this.
Mickey, nothing's going to happen to you, I promise you. So, we're not even going to
Don't
worry.
do me like this now, guys. Come on now.
Mickey, nobody's gonna lay a finger on you, okay?
Come on now. Can we loosen these up? My hands are.
Let's get down here to the Sally Port and we'll look at
Come
it.
on now.
Come on, Mickey. Yes, it will be.
Come on.
Here's this holster. Yeah.
Come on now, guys.
Mickey, you're fine. I got my camera on.
Come on now, guys. No.
We got to get down there some way, okay? Mickey.
No, that ain't the way to the jail now, guys.
What's the way to the jail? How do you get down there? I don't know. I've never done it from
That
here.
ain't the way to the jail. Now.
What's the way to the jail? I thought the elevator went.
No.
That's
That elevator.
Does the elevator go down to the jail?
No.
They don't?
No, that elevator don't go down jail. That elevator only goes up Circuit Court.
But only
We get to be the Sally Port.
Huh?
it's either outside or through this stairwell,
You don't
ain't
have
it?
to go outside.
How do you get there? Show
You
us.
can go through that stairwell right there.
Well, come on. Show us. I don't know it.
Come on now, guys.
I've
Be
never
fair with me now.
I've been to this floor of the courthouse.
We can
and
get to the
Sally
jail
Port.
right here too. I'll show you.
Well, no, there's people in there. We can't. We ain't
Come
going.
on now, it's clear.
No,
Yeah.
there's a woman right there. No, we're not going in there.
We're waiting in the Sally Port.
Come on,
Mickey,
Mickey.
we ain't putting you in the left county jail.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm not saying to do that.
We ain't.
Come on now.
Come on.
We ain't gonna hurt you, Mickey. We ain't gonna treat you.
Let's go down the stairwell.
Come on now, guys.
Here.
Come on now.
You're good. Come on.
Where's the stairwell?
That's right here.
Don't let them do this to me now, guys. Come on now.
Mickey, we ain't doing nothing to you. Nobody you downstairs.
Come on now.
Nobody's gonna do a thing to you.
You walk yourself, okay?
No, there's gloves there and everything now. Come on now.
Gloves.
No,
Where they come from?
That's from
Come on now.
that's from EMS.
No.
Keep going.
Now,
Keep
come
going.
on.
Come on. You're all right.
Hi, chat. Sorry about that. Had to take that call. That was a necessary call. My apologies. So, Boosh, I know you were in here. This is, you wanted to recap real quick? This is Sheriff Mickey Stines. He's a sheriff down in Kentucky who murdered the judge on camera. This is them immediately afterwards questioning him. And then they're getting ready to take him down to the Sally Port. And he is so paranoid. And yeah, guys, this whole, like, while he's walking down the hallway, like, when he's right here, he looks so, like, he's waiting for somebody to pop out behind every freaking door. Waiting for every freaking door somebody to come out and kill him. Which is just, it's absolutely insane. It's, hold on here. Where did, yeah, here we go. So, it's been very interesting the way this is set up here. And some of you guys are, hold on, chat. Some of you guys are worried about me having a deep voice. Yeah, and I mean, you know, like, whoa, I mean, oh. Yes, I came back from my, are my hands blue? I don't have blue fingers, chat. David from Making Law Simple says, who would love to arrest their boss? Well, that's another thing, too. And Dollar Tree World says, these dirty cops are trying to do him dirty. Well, that's the thing. He's very confident they're all dirty, and you're like, but wait, if you know they're all dirty, that means you're probably dirty too. That's my thing here. Oh. So, you know what else is absolutely insane? Mickey Stines. Well, we're going to get there. We're going to get there. Yes, it's telling that he doesn't trust the cops. Why should we? Very true. Very true, KRM. It's good to see you, by the way. So, yes. Snack says no gas at the brakes. Yeah. Oh.
That's from EMS.
No.
Keep going.
Now,
Keep going. Come on, you're all right.
He really believes.
Yeah, he thinks he's going to get killed. He is terrified. Now, notice, if this was you, think about if you were just like, you didn't want to go down the stairs, they'd be like, get down the goddamn stairs, and just like, whoa, right there. You'd be flying down those stairs if it was you. That's the interesting part of it. That is the interesting part of it.
yeah.
That's it.
Go this way. Come on. Nope, don't. Not that way. Not that way. Come on. Mickey.
Speak to my voice there, please.
No, you can't talk to him. You can't talk to him. Come on, Mickey. You know better.
Come on now, don't put me down in jail. Here, we're not.
Is that the jail or is this?
This is right here.
Come on
How do
now.
we get in the cell phone? Is that what?
There you go. That cuts left right here. I have been.
Open the door.
Hold on. Give it a second.
Think about if you tried to touch the door when you were in handcuffs. They would beat the brakes off of any of us.
There's been nobody in there. Come on now.
Everybody's on lockdown.
He knows what happens.
Come on now. Come on now.
You're all right.
What you guys doing to me now? This ain't right.
Waiting on them up the door.
KSP, open the door.
This ain't right, guys. Come on. Just get me to a facility.
That's what we're trying to do.
Okay.
It's a long way
Come on.
to walk from here to Leslie County. You know, I'd rather not leave it.
Come on. Let's go.
Come on now, guys. Who's in the Sally Court?
Bates.
Who's in the car with me?
Wow, they have a nice collection of restraint chairs. You see that? They have like 3 of them. They got some good DHS grant money down there.
In the back.
Just Jay.
Just us.
Nobody in the back.
Come on.
Just us.
Be fair with me now.
Come on. Let's go.
Come on now. Come on now, guys.
Very good.
No cameras out there now. Come on.
I got my camera.
We got cameras right there.
I got my camera on.
Oh, come on now.
Just push through the door there.
There's cameras in that crew?
No, there's something. Somebody's in. No.
No, come on. You're gonna let it walk. Keep going. Keep going.
There we go. Come on now. Come on now.
Mickey Stines act.
Okay, I don't need to hear Granny clamp it. I appreciate her putting this together, but so that is the end of it. We have watched him with the other points, though. So yes, this is the sheriff of Lecter County, Kentucky. Chat. You're just like, what the hell is going on with this man? So, and Luke, you bring up a point here. To be fair, the personal knowledge of something is clearly fucked in the head with this guy I've known all my life makes the situation a tad different than some random guy they find having shot at the judge. Yeah, but then you'd have to realize that guy's fucked in the head too. You wouldn't get the same treatment, and that's not fair. We should all get the same treatment. It shouldn't matter. Oh, well, they suspected something was up, and, you know, that's how it played out. That's not fair to us as people. That's not fair to us as people. I don't like that. I don't like how that would happen. So, no, I'm not enthralled with it. Not at all. Not at all. So, let's see here. What else we got? Was it just another lawyer in a robe? Was anything of value really lost? Oh, I wonder if that affects your case, him being fired. All right. Well, so what happens from here? Well, what happens from here is some things were filed on behalf of him by his attorney, and we're going to get to these now, guys. We're going to get to all the filings now. Yes. Treat is fair now. Trade is fair now. Here to treat you guys fairly. Chat, I'm not going to make you suffer. Or actually, if I make everybody suffer, that's fair. All right. So this is from the Commonwealth of Kentucky Lecter Circuit Court. It's a Commonwealth of Kentucky versus Sean Mickey Stines. So I guess Mickey is his middle name. I thought it was his nickname, but whatever they're calling him. So this is a notice filed, and this is support for participation of a defense expert in any state requested examination. Now, what's the issue? He's getting a mental health evaluation and an insanity evaluation. So they put it as a notice. They intend, and this is filed back on March 5th, chat. And that's around the time we watched that last hearing with him. So the defense intends to present expert evidence relating to a mental disease or defect or mental condition bearing on the issue of guilt and punishment. They intend to present a defense of insanity, as well as a defense of extreme emotional disturbance. They do not raise the issue of competency to stand trial. Now, notice, that is a big deal, guys. Remember, there's competency and then insanity you might think of them as the same thing, but in reality, they're two separate parts. Competency is, can you assist the defense and your attorney in preparing your trial and defending yourself? If you're insane, insanity is, can you be held responsible for your actions? So you can be, now generally, if you're insane at that moment, you're probably not competent. But they can evaluate you and say, right now, you're competent, but previously you were insane. And sometimes there can be combinations, but generally you get one or the other. As far as things are going here, Luke, you're bringing up that they're waiving competency. They're not. They're not waiving competency. They're just telling the court, we don't intend to raise that issue. They're just telling the court they're not intending to raise the issue. And I think that's fair just to warn the judge. We don't think that's going to happen. Clearly, we're going to do insanity defense, but they do think that they can help him in the meantime. So that's just the basic information here. And, the idea that they're going for an insanity defense, I think everybody's like, no, duh. So they talk about support for attendance of the expert. And they ask that in the event the Commonwealth, and that means the prosecutor, elects to request an examination under Criminal Rule 8.07, then the defendant is entitled to the participation of its expert in the Commonwealth's examination. This is not only permissible, but mandatory upon request. So they're notifying, I guess, and they're reserving their rights. If the prosecutor does this, we want to be involved, and we're telling you now, so there's no question about it. And James Reed, you say, are you talking to me? Doing what? And this is just more of just to put everything on notice that they want to be involved. This is what they intend to do. And it's just merely laying things out. They say an examiner retained by the defendant shall be permitted to participate in any examination under this chapter. So they're asking for that. And they talk about that this chapter 504 governs examinations for incompetency and insanity. And they cite the case, the McCracken County Fiscal Court, McCracken, of the Kentucky Supreme. And I like how it's just the Kentucky Supreme. It's like the Taco Supreme. They address the mandatory nature of the statutory right in finding that costs associated with the expert attending the examination were reasonable. So they point out that whether or not you avail yourself is strictly a matter of legal strategy to be decided by a defendant's counsel. So this is a matter of strategy, whether or not they're going to do this. It's not a question for the expert to decide, nor is it a question for the trial court. The statute not only permits the defense expert to be present, but it mandates the expert's presence be allowed. And they also point out evidentially the legislator envisioned circumstances in which a defendant's expert presence in an interview with an opposing expert is important enough to provide for in the law. And we've seen that, chat. DeSorga and Shannon Burgess hung out together, examining the infotainment console in Karen Reed's car, downloading data, handling data. And they say, we are unwilling to uphold the trial judge's ruling the defendant's availing himself of what the law provides is not a necessary expense. They therefore submit the foregoing notice of support for the attendance of the experts to statute, as well as the order of this honorable court. And some of this sounds like they're actually asking to be court appointed because it doesn't sound like Sheriff Stines has any money. So that is where we are with this, guys. This is getting interesting. Then signed by Jeremy Bartley and Carrie Bartley of Bartley Law in Somerset, Kentucky. These are the guys you've seen on TV a bunch of times. So that is what's here. And now we move on to the thing that just got filed. The thing that just got filed. This is pretty important. This is pretty important. Because it gives you a look at what we're going to handle. This was filed June 4th, 2025. And this is a motion to dismiss. And it's interesting how they attack it. And guys, remember, every state, I say this every time, every state handles the indictment process so drastically different. You can't assume they're the same thing. We learned that with Alec Baldwin, that in New Mexico, you have the right to have evidence presented as a defendant. In some states, you have the right to testify in certain situations. In some states, none of this exists. But in some states, you can only be indicted for a felony via the grand jury and an indictment. There is no information unless you consent to it. So this is an interesting thing here where all these states have their different strategies. And for a lot of these states, they go back. It's part of their legal tradition. And for Kentucky, guys, remember, Kentucky was the frontier, just like Ohio was. It's not one of the original 13 colonies, but it was an add-on. It was one of the first new states added to the Union. But they do move on. They cite the 5th and 14th Amendments to the United States Constitution. They cite Section 11 of the Kentucky Constitution and a case called Commonwealth v. Baker. And that is where they start their discussions here. That is where they start things. And I think that's a better shade of green. Yeah, that's a better shade of green. So, and they cite the case here. This is a Kentucky appellate case from 2000. That's what they're talking about. And I think it's funny because they didn't, these are like, here's the thing. This is electronically filed and it shows the circuit clerk and the lady who's in charge actually had to cross it out and write her name in. And I'm like, I don't know if that was necessary. So, and Spudgun says, yes, Kentucky joined the Union on June 1st, 1792, becoming the 15th state. Yes. And then Ohio joined in 1803, a little bit later. Yes. Kentucky has a very long, rich history. Chris Luss saying, is court tomorrow for Karen Reed a full day? Yes. Although if it's really as hot as things are getting in Boston, I'm thinking they're going to get crippled with some of the hot weather. So anyways, here we go, guys. We'll get back to this. So we covered there's constitutional considerations. And now this is what they're getting at. The argument here is they believe dismissal is mandatory under Criminal Rule 5.16. So what happened? There was the intentional failure of the Commonwealth to record proceedings in front of the Letcher County grand jury. Ooh, buddy. Whoa, so we don't have a full record of what happened in front of the grand jury? Wow. Wow, chat. That is not good. That is not good. They say, additionally, the grand jury is deprived of information known to the Commonwealth, sought in questions by grand jurors, but not disclosed. Oof. So they talk about, here are the facts, that in November 2024, a Kentucky State Police detective, Clayton Stamper, he's one of the guys who testified at the probable cause hearing, testified before the grand jury seeking a murder indictment against Mickey Stines. There was a prior meeting between the Commonwealth and the grand jury that was not recorded. Ooh. Oh. Oh, chat. Oh. Yeah, that sounds a bit sketch. Now, Jim Cox saying a secret indictment. That's not a secret indictment. Actually, the term for a secret indictment is one where the grand jury indicts someone and then the warrant is put out for their arrest, but there's no indictment is not placed on the clerk of court's website. There's no announcement in the newspaper. Here's a list of people who got indicted this month, which those two are very common ways to find out if you've been indicted. People open up the newspaper and they're like, oh, my neighbor Bob got indicted for drug possession or fucking a goat. That's how you find out what happens. That's how you find out at times. So it's very important to make sure you do things in that manner. So if you don't want somebody to know, you just be very quiet about it. You put it on the down low. There's a warrant that's out for their arrest. And eventually when they get picked up, you unseal the indictment. So it wasn't a secret indictment in that way. The secret indictments are still indictments. Gandalf says Ohio was / is famous for secret indictments. Oh, tell me about it. There's all kinds of shit that gets secret indicted, and I don't understand why. I've had clients before, they get indicted, and I'm like, why is this a secret indictment? Like, I get it when he's accused of, like, rolling up on someone's house and shooting it apart. I get we're going to have secret indictment. But you're like, forgery. You're like, and he stole some chainsaws from Home Depot. And you're like, does that really need to be a secret indictment? Like, we're going to put a warrant service out on him. It's like, I don't think that's necessary. I don't think that's necessary. But what do I know? Candy says, I just caught this. Well, thank you for being here, Candy. I appreciate it. I appreciate you being here. So they go on, though. At the recorded meeting, grand jurors sought information as to the relationship between the case sub judice and the companion federal civil case, but were deprived of the information. So they were asking about the federal lawsuit that these women had brought, where the sheriff's deputy was extorting women for sex to get in the good graces of the government. This is... Guys, we are getting there. We are getting there to this point. You know, like this is a thing. So remember, so what are they asking? Well, what's the case at hand and the civil rights case have to do? And they're like, nope. They say the testimony and response was frequently redirected. This is like almost what happened with Alec Baldwin. If you guys remember, there were some problems with how they presented things there. And how they presented things. Alpha Fox says, stealing chainsaws at Home Depot is odd. Everyone knows you steal them from an asphalt truck. Yes, you go stealing from a landscaper when they're trimming trees. That's how you do it. That's the gamer move. So the Electric County grand jury returned an indictment charging 1 count of murder. Okay, which I think, whatever, that makes sense. So what's the point? The meeting was not recorded. And under the criminal rules, it's a transcript of testimony. Now, these are the criminal rules here. These aren't law, but they're criminal rules, which are very important. They guide how things are done. These are procedures. How do you make sure that there's a procedure, and how do you make sure it's being followed? Also, Dolly Talk. Hello, Dolly. Friend of the show, guys, Dolly. And Hella. Good day, mate. Hella, another friend of the show. But anyways, here's the rule. It says the attorney for the Commonwealth shall, meaning he will do the thing. This is not a topic of debate. You will do it. You will cause all of the testimony before a grand jury to be recorded. For this purpose, the attorney for the Commonwealth may appoint a stenographer to take shorthand, or may cause the testimony to be taken by a recording device. But the record so made shall include the testimony of all witnesses. The shorthand notes or the transcript of the same, if any, shall be delivered and retained by the prosecutor for the Commonwealth. Pretty big deal. And yeah, those things are kept. The way things are broken down, the way things are set up. Yeah, all that stuff gets protected and saved. Because the prosecutor is in charge of the grand jury. The court convenes it on behalf of the state. So it is interesting to see how this does. So they say, failure to have a record made, if required, shall be grounds for dismissal of the indictment unless the Commonwealth can show good cause for the failure. See, I don't think that should, still too bad. And it says mechanical failure shall constitute good cause. They also talk about the stenographer or operator. Any typist shall be sworn by the court not to disclose any testimony. Okay, and that's really not an issue here because there's no indication that the stenographer blabbed about what happened. So it says, in the recorded session of the grand jury provided to defendant, a grand juror references a prior meeting with the Commonwealth. Ooh. Oh, no. Oh, no. That's a big oopsie. That's an oopsie poopsie. The defendant requested from the Attorney General's office a copy of the prior meeting. The Commonwealth responded that the prior meeting was attended by the Commonwealth, but that it was only for the purpose of obtaining grand jury subpoenas for the case, and there was no testimony. Bullshit! And the defense team points out the prosecutor could seek subpoenas to a grand jury hearing without the grand jury being convened. Yes, you could subpoena for the grand jury. There's no necessariness for that. Thus, it is curious what would necessitate the involvement of this independent body. I agree. And they say, second, if a subpoena was sought, then the information must have been presented to the jurors. That's true. For grand jury subpoenas, you get a grand jury subpoena for the person, or you get a grand jury subpoena for, Duce's tecum. Bring in your papers. So while the Commonwealth may classify that information as something other than testimony, is clearly related to the nature of the investigation and clearly related to his guilt or his culpability. And they say, regardless of how it was labeled or whether it was sworn or unsworn, the information provided constitutes testimony and should have been recorded. There was no mechanical failure. The Commonwealth chose not to record the meeting. Oh, man. Oh, man. Not a good look, guys. Not a good look for the prosecutor. So they point out the grand jury was denied information that was sought. And they've used a quote here from a Supreme Court case. In the grand jury's functional independence from the judicial branch is evident in both the scope of its power to investigate wrongdoing and the manner in which that power is exercised. Yes. So that's why when you're in the grand jury, you're operating more as a prosecutorial function than the court function. And they say here the Commonwealth's attorney does not control the grand jury. And it says, rather, the Commonwealth's attorney is the person with the primary relationship for presenting evidence to the grand jury concerning alleged crimes. However, the grand jurors may choose to hear no more evidence than that which suffices to convince them that an indictment is warranted, and they may exclude the Commonwealth's attorney while they question the witnesses themselves. And it says the prosecutor may not be present while the grand jury is deliberating or voting on an indictment. And that's a very critical thing, guys. I think I mentioned that before. When the grand jury sits down at the table, you walk out and you tell them don't discuss till I close the door. You immediately walk out, close the door, and sometimes within 20 seconds, they're already knocking on the door saying, yeah, we have an indictment. Sometimes it's 5 minutes, sometimes it's 10 minutes. Sometimes they knock on the door and ask for more information. It happens sometimes. It's just very rare. They also talk about the Commonwealth's attorney may not be present while they're deliberating voting. And though the Commonwealth's attorney is required to draft indictments upon request of the grand jury, he does not sign the indictment. That's correct. And the indictments are not returned to the Commonwealth's attorney, but to the court. Yes. There isn't a there isn't a stack of bullseye indictments that prosecutors hold on to like that. Now, they might get a hold of them at some point, but they don't just keep them as like some gross thing that's out there. Nervin out says Sean is all sweepy. Yes, I'm EP Sean. All right. So let's keep hearing. They say nothing in our Constitution, statutes, or rules classifies a grand jury as an arm of the prosecutor. It says the grand jury is an investigative body acting independently of either the judge or prosecutor. And it says the hallmark of the grand jury is its independence from outside influence. It's supposed to be. You know, it serves the function of a society standing between the accuser and the accused. If only people in the grand jury thought of it that way. And it says whether the latter be an individual, minority group, or other to determine whether the charge is founded upon. Things happen. So, whether it's an individual, minority group, or other to be determined. Whether a charge is founded upon reason or was dictated by an intimidating power, which the sheriff believes there's a lot of intimidating powers out there. Or by malice or personal ill will. I wonder if Sheriff Stines believes in the psychic vampires now. And they say, an indictment's returned if it's legally constituted and it's unbiased. If valid on its face is enough to call for a trial to charge on the merits. But they say, however, dismissal of the indictment by a trial court is appropriate if it's established that it is established that the violation substantially influenced the grand jury's decision to indict, or if there's grave doubt, such decision to indict was free from the substantial influence of such violations. Yeah, it's Can I explain the word "shall" in a legal context, please? I mean, you shall provide the police with your name if they have reasonable, articulate suspicion to believe you were involved in committing a crime. I mean, I think that's a good answer. Yes, but shall is must. Shall is must. You will do this. You have to do this. So they say a court may dismiss an indictment where a prosecutor knowingly or intentionally presents misleading testimony to the grand jury that results in actual prejudice to the defendant. I think this is going to be there's going to be a lot of pretrial motion practice on this. I can feel it already. So here they talk about their Baker case. In the Baker case, a detective testified to the grand jury that the defendant struck her children with a baseball bat, while in reality, the allegation was that a stick was used for the same purposes. And you know, this is where it makes you wonder what happened in the Kieran Reed case and if they had too bad of a thing like this here. So and they say after holding the evidentiary hearing, the trial court dismissed the indictment of prejudice, noting the legal obligation of prosecutors to observe the independent status of the grand jury. The court also found the testimony was material and affected their decision to indict, which I think that there's a lot to be said here, and I think stuff's going to change. Stuff is going to change. I'm sure it. Yeah. So, is shall right now or is shall in the future? Well, cool channel. Here's how you could do this. So, you can be told you shall comply. Okay, well, until it happens, there's no compliance. So, for example, if you are a company and I have court order that you shall comply with the cool channel name, Tire Factory. So that's where you can kind of like I'm not ready yet because they haven't fulfilled their contract, but it's like once something happens, you shall cooperate with them. Okay. You know, that's an example, but that's not a good one. I mean, yeah. You don't shall people, you require. Well, require is kind of an iffy word at times. I'd be careful about require. So, they say that the court also found that the Commonwealth's attorney had knowingly or recklessly elicited the incorrect testimony, and the detective voluntarily testified even though he had no knowledge of the facts of the case. And that's the weirdest part of all. Testified personal knowledge of the facts he had the case, and that was it. You know, this is the scary part, guys. These trials happen and we never got to hear about them. So they also talk about what happened at that point. Well, there was also a detective who talked about multiple misleading statements for the Letcher County grand jury. And this testimony led to Mickey Stines being hired by the state court. And then it resulted in an indictment of murder. So they say the case was pending the grand jury 2 months after the arrest and preliminary hearing. Okay. Yes. That's not true. So the detective and the attorney general had ample opportunity to investigate and review the evidence, including witness statements, before the presentation of the grand jury. Further, the attorney general conducted the investigation into Detective Ben Fields. This investigation, the resulting charges, and companion civil case are central to the facts of this case at hand. And they say, unlike the officer testifying in Baker, this detective they're dealing with, Stamper, is the lead investigator. Well, yeah, if you're screwing around as lead investigator, that's a big deal, man. So they said, unlike the testifying officer in Baker, Stamper is the head investigator in this case. And they say the case is given even more explicit than Blake because the court does not have to infer what facts were important to the grand jury. The grand jury asked questions that were prevented from hearing complete answers. And he says, had the Commonwealth presented and they were just prevented from hearing complete answers. And they said, had they presented complete and accurate testimony to the grand jury, the decision to charge, or at least the choice of appropriate charge, would likely have been different. I mean, it just sounds... It sounds like people being idiots here. I mean, like, how do they not do this? How do they not do this right? I just don't get it. I don't understand this. So they say approximately 12 of the 25 minutes of the hearing was consumed by grand juror questions. That's actually impressive. And they say it's evident that despite seeing a portion of the video evidence, the grand jury saw additional evidence and went, oh, well, yeah. So they say it's evident that despite seeking a portion of the video evidence, the grand jury sought additional information to make their decision. And maybe it's intentional to free Mickey. Yeah, I don't. You know, I just understand this here. Yeah, maybe it's intentional to free Mickey. I don't think so. Sorry, brother, we put you in chains. So they say, despite the grand jury's inquiry, known information as of allegations made during the civil case were withheld. I don't think this is their strongest action. I don't think this is their strongest arguments here, but we'll see what happens. The grand jury also sought mental health information that was not disclosed, and the officer was permitted to testify the defendant was in his sane mind at the time of the alleged shooting. How does he know? He does not know this. He cannot testify that Mickey Stines was sane at the time of the alleged shooting. He literally can't do that. He is not a doctor. Even if Mickey Stines told him that, he can't do that because he's not a doctor. So he can't make that assessment. Now, could they use that against Mickey Stines if Mickey Stines tried to if he made a insanity argument, sure, but I don't see how this is permitted. I don't see how this got permitted at the grand jury. Like, the prosecutor should have fucking known better. This is weird. Like, chat, this is kind of fucking weird, you guys. I'm just saying, like, this does not make any sense to me. Why did this happen this way? I don't get it. I don't get why they let this unfold. Because especially you're the prosecutor, and when you're talking to your lead investigator, you can really control how things are presented in the grand jury. You can do all kinds of shit. You can ask leading questions. You know, there aren't really any rules on that stuff. Yeah, so he had good reasons to fear for his life. Yeah. I don't know, man. This whole thing is just, it reeks to high heaven. But yes, this is why grand jury should have defense pushback. And they say the defendant was also permitted in contravention of the Fifth Amendment to comment multiple times on his failure to speak with law enforcement. They say they respectfully request an evidentiary hearing, and they want to go over the matters asserted, and it will establish that the grand jury was deprived of material information. And they say this deprivation the defendant contends warrants dismissal. They say, wherefore the defendant requests honorable court grant an evidentiary hearing to allow the presentation of testimony and evidence relevant to the issues set forth herein. You know, they also want to find the Lecter County grand jury was deprived of material information necessary. Okay. Conclude that such deprivations undermine the integrity of the grand jury and dismiss the indictment with prejudice. Oh, I bet you'd love that, buddy. I bet you'd love that. I bet you'd love that. So this is their arguments there. This is what they do. They had also made another motion. There was a motion for a bond hearing. And they went forward and they asked for bond. They point out that in November, he was arrested. There was no bond set. They say in November, he was arraigned, and then the presiding judge declined to set a bond. You know, leaving the same for the special judge yet to be assigned is where everything happened. They say as of June 2025, the bond has not been set. Stines has been given notice of his intent to introduce mental health evidence at trial, and Stines is ordered to undergo a mental health evaluation by June 2025. So it should be right here, chat. Jennifer Aniston should pop it up on Wii soon enough. And they talk about bail. So they say here that bailable means that all prisoners are entitled to bail. And the right to bail is a constitutional right. Yes, your Eighth Amendment right, guaranteed every prisoner, is defined in that section of the Constitution. So they say that at the time of the indictment, prior to the entry of any proof, all prisoners who requested bail, including those charged with capital offenses, are entitled to bail. They say this entitlement is based on the presumption of innocence and the practical reality that the indictment alone contains no proof of guilt that is evident, or the presumption of, the presumption of guilt is great. So they say this indictment does not furnish proof of his guilt that is evident, and in fact, it furnishes no proof at all in which a circuit county may act in allowing or denying bail. They say neither does the indictment create a presumption of guilt, which is great. And now they're saying, like, are they saying like the guilt presumption isn't great, or are they saying it's great? And they say to overcome the presumption of innocence and lack of proof, the Commonwealth then has the opportunity to demonstrate that proof of guilt is evident, or the presumption of guilt is a great fear. That'll be a fun show. So, the lack of proof in the indictment, the Commonwealth had, to go forward with this. Sorry, I reread that. So the trial court is vested with sound discretion in considering whether the Commonwealth has met their burden. 100% they do. They always get to do it. So they also need the court to determine here that bail is sufficient to ensure compliance with the conditions of release, that establishing bail is not oppressive, bail is commensurate with the nature of the offense alleged charge, bail is considered the past criminal acts of the defendant, bail is based on the considered reasonable anticipated conduct of someone else. So, they say bails also consider the financial ability of the defendant. And that's one of the big ones, chat. There's actually case law more and more now that points out, like, you can give a guy $100,000 bond, but you might as well make it $100 million. He can't meet either of them. And there needs to be, obviously the push gets too far and we have cashless bail and that backfires, but there has to be a happy medium, chat. There has to be a happy medium. And they say the defendant in this case is charged with a single count of aggravated murder. They say prior to his arrest, Stines had an exemplary record with a complete lack of criminality or deviance. And they say Stines has served in a law enforcement capacity for his entire adult life. And so they say he has served in a law enforcement capacity his entire adult life and was actively serving the sheriff of Letcher County when he was arrested. Upon his arrest, pretrial services completed a risk assessment, and this is where they determine things for you, chat. You're scored as a failure to appear risk, which is an actual thing, black or low. So here you go. We have these in many states, guys. You'll have some sort of bond tools. A lot of states use what's called the Ohio Risk Assessment System, ORAS, but these guys do not. So they say Stines has been a lifelong resident of Letcher County. His wife, children, grandchildren, and a host of friends who remain staunchly supportive of him. And they consider he has strong ties in the community. Yes, it's very important, Your Honor. Remember, my client will not run. My client is also not evil, and people might try to, like you're worried if people are going to attack you when you leave the courthouse. Well, you leave it a different way or in a different style. But they say that anything should be compliant with any conditions set by the court. And that makes sense. Hey, judge, you already set out some terms. Can we just work off of what you've done so far? And that makes a lot of sense. And they say they respectfully request the court to set an adversarial bond hearing at the court's convenience, but following the completion of the KCPC evaluation from October. So we'll see how serious they are. Yeah. Let's see here. So they sent it out. And that is the entirety of it, chat. So if there really is hijinks of the grand jury, that is going to be insane that they have to deal with that. Emily Allen for $10. Thank you, Emily. Thank you for being here. Different topic. Sorry. That's okay. If Karen Reed is found guilty in the second trial, can her appeal use details in his first trial? They limited to this trial. Generally they're going to be limited to the first trial unless there's something that they try to get in that they're denied on. They just can't you can't just go into the first trial, grab what you think is helpful, and then leave it. No, you can't. It's not like a garage show that way. That's a very good question, though. But no, it's all now. That trial's done and over with. You can't go back to it and complain about it. So let's see here. So that is the Commonwealth's case. That is the defense's case so far. I'm kind of curious what you guys think. Like, who do you think is going to be correct? Who do you think is? It's very interesting how they're going to do it. Why did that go off on me? It's very interesting how they're going to set this up. And I don't know yet. Are they going to do a crazy defense? Are they going to do insanity? Are they going to do it a certain way? Are they going to get a Frank's motion from Mickey? I kind of get the feeling he bought those like right around the corner, and they're probably not. Yeah. So there you go. Lauren tells you no. So I just don't know what they're going to do here. Eric Rodriguez says the judge must recuse because the victim is a judge. Well, that means there could never be a judge, chat. This is like you found the infinite repair glitch. You found the infinite repair glitch. Joe Moore says you can't repair a lack of record without a redo. I agree. But the problem is they fucked that up and they knew better. So there's the dismissal with prejudice is the option. I mean, if the prosecutor's conduct is so egregious and stupid, the court will step in and say, sorry, I'm going to have to delete you. So it is a little interesting how they're going to try this. It is interesting how they're going to make. It is interesting, I think, how they're going to do this to work. Mickey's the patsy. Yeah, but it's like making him call for jury duty, or Mickey's the patsy like that. You're going to have to convince people on like who are showing up for jury duty, like this entire conspiracy then. And just like Karen Reed, they have a lot more money than her, and there's no way that they're going to make it work. I don't see. I mean, I would laugh if it happened, but I just don't see how she's going to do this. I just don't see how they're going to go in there. This husband and wife team are going to get Mickey Stines to. I just don't see how this works. Could they just have another grand jury? I mean, theoretically they could, but now there's a motion to, you fucked up, we have to dismiss. And you run into the problem of what was disclosed at that grand jury that we don't know about. It's just like Richard Allen. We just don't know, and redoing an interview later doesn't help you because maybe something was said during that first grand jury interaction that we really need to know about. I mean, that's the I mean, that's how this goes. That's how this goes. Yes, with 320 and black talons, yes. I just don't understand how they're going to do this. KJ's been a member for 16 months. Says, Sean, have you called your jury chat yet? No, and I'm terrified I will do that at some point. Listen, chat. It's like, oh God, no, I'm terrified. I'm mortified. You guys could figure out where I'm at on camera sometimes. Like that happened again, and it's at times it's unnerving, it's unsettling. So Karam says, why do I feel the sheriff is mostly innocent? I think it's because you have spite for the government, and that's okay to have too. I'm just, let's be real about it. Just be honest with yourself. Just be honest.
Let's be honest.
Just be honest. Just be honest. The June 3rd hearing, yes. Okay. Fuck says, it's not hard. Wait until half chat shows up in one of your trials. Well, I don't want people to know. So that's why I never tell you guys where I go, because I'm not a sadist, and also my clients have never consented to that. So let's see. What else are you guys talking about? You're saying, I think the judge got called out for being a pedophile. I could see that. But who knows though? Edward Scott says Sean gets tired one day and suddenly starts going up about glowies during trial. You should all hate your government. Yes, there's one thing to hate your government, but they do get stuff right frequently enough. So, I mean, that's just, I think, important there. Yes, tells the jury, please, ladies and gentlemen, please like and subscribe instead of not find this guy not guilty. Just please like and subscribe. Just like you walk down, you're like, nailed it. And you're like, oh no, Wait, not guilty. No. That is just, do your clients watch streams? I don't know. Don't think so. Never sure. So, that's what I can tell you there. Beware any Zoom hearing. I mean, yeah, my Zoom hearings are just like, woo, half the time. Half the time. So, all right. So I should bring a soundboard to court. Yeah. Eventually, Sean's going to be like, Safa. I'll be like, oh! I'll be like Joe Rogan. It's like, oh my God, whoa! Like PP and Worski. Whoa, buddy! Oh, that would just not work. That would just not work. Could this be the intentional to prevent other things coming to fight? Like, I mean, it could be. This could be some sort of long con. I just don't know what it is right now. I'm not smart enough to notice it, but so let's see here. Is there any more other documents? So, Hydrosphere says Elon is a legal citizen. Okay, well, we're not getting into that argument tonight. We'll do that later. If Sean has any Zoom hearings, I'll be sure Cyrus is on. Okay. Is it chili time? We'll talk about chili tomorrow on Saturday night. So. Just tell the judge I came down with a case of Tourette's. And you know what their answer would be? Oh boy, I love putting, Tourette's on the roof. And that way they can shoot at all the people in the parking lot I don't like. Yes, Perry Mason would have figured this out already. Yeah, I think what I know in this the new case, I think this is gonna turn into the guy needed beat up and my guy did it. Like the victim needed his ass kicked and my guy did it. So it will happen. It will happen like that sometimes. Have your colleagues watched any of your stuff? No, I don't know. I don't think so. I'd rather them not, if that was seen as a call for it. Okay, so. All right, let's see here. Let me see. PPP is currently dressed like a cow in the casino. I forgot they're doing they're doing their switch thing today. So, is Elon a South African American? Yes. If I win a motion, is it another win for the toe? No. But I will say yesterday I did score a big fucking dub, so I'm very happy about that. Big old fat one. It's how things normally go. You're more of a Columbine fan? Well, this is more timely and apropos. I mean, that's all I'll say there. I think it's more apropos to like it this way. DSP's melting down now. Did he not get a switch in time? That's a bummer. That's a bummer if he couldn't get one. Ashton said he was doing fire sales today. That should be interesting. Well, that is good that I have a winner with all the court losses lately. Yeah, I mean, that's what happens when you do defense work. You rack up dubs. Defense attorneys don't normally have positive records. Very few could. So either they're taking the easy stuff or they, yeah, that's just not how that works, in my opinion. I thought his orders got canceled. Yeah. Let's see here. Let's see, transfer what you guys saying. Switch to on a shell today. Bob John says, yeah, I don't know. Listen, okay, you guys talking about reggae. So, all right, chat. Well, with that said, we are going to get ready for the 7:30, or not the 7:30 show, the 9:30 show. You guys are here and you're new for the first time. We do a live show every Thursday night at 9:30. Get to cover all kinds of topics. And there's a bunch of stuff today, chat. There's a bunch of stuff. There are some massive 2A cases that came through SCOTUS this week. Some of it was bad. Some of it was really good. There's a sheriff that's on the run from his prison. The New Orleans guys, 2 of them are still on the run. Uncle Marv's anniversary for Granby, Colorado was yesterday, but we'll commemorate it still. The Chinese scientists bring in the, and just, like there's some good stuff here. We also have an update on the YSL trial. Guys, there's a lot of good stuff coming tonight. So join us at 9:30 Eastern. You guys will enjoy it. I promise you will enjoy it. It's got some good stuff in it. Yes, an Ohio case one at SCOTUS too. Yes, but that one's probably going to require its own show because it's an interesting read, especially how the titles work together. So, let's see here. What is this? Yes, they're trying to fuck with our crops. Yes, the Chinese are trying to screw with our crops. Is there any drama? Not really. There's not a lot of drama right now. Is Tupido bringing cookies for the 9 o'clock show? Yes, she might be. Sorry, I was trying to read what one of you guys said, and I was really confused by it. Huh. So, all right. Anyway, so with that said, tonight, chat, I will see you guys later tonight. And just remember till next time, just because you did it does not mean you're guilty. Although I'm pretty sure Stines is pretty guilty. I have a feeling he's not going to get an insanity plea. I think they're going to find out he did it for a reason. It turns out he was completely wrong. So, yeah, I'm kind of guessing that. Rusty Waller says, I'll be leaving to catch you back on 9:30 from the live show. Well, thank you. Thank you for being here. I appreciate it. So, let me see here. Let's see here. What's the thing? Fake. Wait, what is this? Fake April? I thought I had to read this for a second. Fake April posted on the farms? Well, that's funny. That is hilarious. So, bring Clyde to the next stream. Yes. I think the sheriff's toast, guys. I think the sheriff's toast. So, with that said, chat, I will see you guys a little bit later and take care. Remember, guys, please like and subscribe.
Weapons, blacksmithing, and models of planes, esoteric works, and even some trains. Much merriment had while drinking White Claws, tips on hunting, and even talking the law. Whatever you do, just don't talk to cops, even when they nab you on illegal stops. Just 'cause you did it doesn't mean you're guilty, but please talk to a local attorney. Was that the fat guy?